There's something I used to do for me to save my time, or I always try to, if I have like the way you see this layout that I have actually designed here, and you can see that it is okay for me. And I don't like creating a new one sometimes, because either I import new layout, either I get one, or I import, or I select by printer, or whichever way, and I have data or this kind of way. I don't want going ahead to repeat that same thing again. So because of that, to save my time, sometimes I always like using save as. And when I click on save as, I will remove the data, and when I remove the data, I should be able to make some little changes on it, and it makes things faster for me. So with that, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to go here, and I'll just need to go in here, and I will save it, the same data here, and just do save as. So if you look here, you see like what I was trying to tell you about African map. So you see that African map is big, and then it's just 54 countries. But there are some of the cases where you have to bring in other data that is more than that. So in this way, let's assume that you are on the National Institute of Statistics Rwanda as example, and they have different data. You can see we have administrative record, we have census, we have survey, and you can see that census have to do with I think it's population of Rwanda, and you needed to integrate census of population of Rwanda or civil service establishment, foreign and private capital. Now all these things have some information that is necessary about it. So if you look at survey here, you can see different survey here. Assuming you are doing analysis and you want to integrate the data of vision something, or travel expenditure survey, or national child labor survey, or data of labor force, there are different data. So the one that have a very good database when it comes to data as related to statistics. And here you can also see the administrative record that have to do with maybe different activities like civil registration and vital and rest of them. So these are different data you can get from Rwanda statistics, Rwanda Institute of Statistics. And not just only Rwanda Institute of Statistics, I'm talking about the data generally, which you can also create by yourself, bringing them. Maybe you go to field survey. These are data you can create by yourself. So on that note, you have a very big, large of data, and then you needed to integrate them with the existing one. So you know that we already have a shape file existing of Rwanda with the name of the district, the name of the sector, the name of the cell and villages, and this particular data are big, and it's not something you need to edit manually. So, and you have another data. So how do you bring them? So now I just want to open up. So I open up with since survey data, and one of the survey that I have here is 2025 season A harvest by crop. So you can see here we have table of 2025 section A, and under the table here from number 1 here we have the table 1, which you can see that there are so many endless. So you see this is the productivity of agriculture, and this is when it comes to the table dominant and rest of them. So you see here we have so much data here. This is table 3, which is number of population by size, district by spectrum. So if you see here, you see you have different data here. As you can see, this is Rwanda 2025. Then you can see here allocation of 420 samples distributed by district. So you can see different data here. So if you go each of those things, there is something you will realize. You realize that some of this data has been captured. As you see this one, it has been captured by the name of the district. So there are some of them you can see, maybe it is narrowed down to sector, but you can see here each of those tables here are something you can actually use to analyze that. So you can see cereal, maize, you can see sorghum, and then you can also see tubers and roots. So you see different data here. Then this is table 11. These have a lot of tables. So if you scroll down, switch to this, you see we have up to table 34. showing you different data. Now, this information, I am using it per se, like we're talking about it in a small scale. So if you have a bigger scale, like you have all the countries of the world or other data that are more, so these are something that you can need to integrate to your map to show a kind of visualization. So it is necessary. You don't need to stress yourself on trying to work on it one after the other, because if you work on it like that, you may or you may not finish. But let's just use this as example. There are different data, like I said. If you want to check the number of immigrants to Rwanda per year, you can also see it. But if you look here, you see now from Bugesera here, that you can see here. Then if you highlight all this to Nyarunjenje here, so if you check here, you see that the count here is about 30, confirming that we have the same number of countries here. So you can see here that we have the same number here as the same number of districts we have in Rwanda. So on this note, I am just going to take this here. As you can see here, I'm just going to copy this or this particular one, and I'm going to go to Excel here, and I'm open up Excel. It is on web, so I can just go ahead and open up Excel here, and then I'll paste this data here. So this is the data I've collected here for the Rwanda from National Statistics. So what do I need to do here? I will just need to go here and then do delete. I just want to clean up the data, and I'm also going to do delete. Now, sorry, let me return back a bit. I'm talking about serial, so I'm going to use serial, or I'm going to use maze. So let me quickly use maze. So in this pattern, I'm just going to use maze, and this way you can see this number, these data here, all of them. I can choose to use all of them, but what I just need to remove is I need to do a kind of cleaning on the data. So I can clean up this one, as you see here. Now here, I think in the direction, they made the direction to be angle, or you can see here, I think clockwise. So if you want to change this this pattern this way, we can also format the cell and then also change the direction of the angle. And if you make the angle to be 0, and then you can see that this return here to 0. Now what happens here, I want to select all of them and then look for clear, and then say clear formatting, so that everything return back to normal way it is. So you can see on this particular list we have here, we need to also go ahead and go here and then delete this table. Now here we have also need to go here and do an insert, and then put a serial number like this, and then press 1. No, probably we double click on it, and that goes just to 31, and we say fill serially, and you can see now we have data here. Now we need also to say find, and we find all the minus sign here, and find all, and you can see where we have minus here. I just want to replace them with 0, so I'm going to clean it and replace all. So replace all, I'm going to replace all of them with 0, because I just want to make sure that all the data are informal. So if you look here, you see this is general. So if there is need for you, you can also go here to format the entire text like this. And since all of them, to be sure, you can go here and then to be sure with all of them are numbers, and I can now reduce the numbers to 0 decimal places, so to be sure of the total numbers. So you see here, I've created this file, and it is now clear as related to cereal, maize, and paddy rice, all of them banana to the end of it. So I can go ahead to save it. So in this way, I will still return back to our folder, and then go to data and copy the directory here. Then save as. So when I want to save it, I'm just going to save it, and then browse the location, and then I will save it on the location that I just opened up now, and I'm going to save it Rwanda 2025A agriculture. So let me just stop at agric, and I'll save it there. So I've saved this there. So to make it easy for me, it can be in Excel, but I just want to save it as CSV. So the same location, I'm going to change the data directory, the data format to what Leon So told us about the binary, that is about the format the data is. So I'm using UTF of 8, so I'm just going to save it in that way as CSV file, and that data has been saved. So go ahead if it is a question.
So, sir, I see where you're going to save. You have different like extensions you can save your document.
Okay.
And for me, when I'm trying to save like a file, they give me like few options. How have you done that?
Okay. Let me.
Like I don't have like a way of saving my file as CV.
Okay.
Say saving.
And you're using Excel. What Excel are you using? Which of the Excel are you using?
It is a desktop office.
That's 2000 and what?
7.
Okay, 2007.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's part of it, but I think it also ought to give you more option. What will happen is maybe after because this is the format I can save my data as either any of this, and this works better for me. So maybe after the class, I will show you how we can install any of the version of tool, so we can just change it to maybe 2024 version of Microsoft Word.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll do that after this. Yeah, so but what I'm saying that if you don't have this format, you might be having a one or two issues as related to it working, being compatible, because most of these are being upgraded every day, and if it is not compatible, you might be fighting with it. So we'll fix it. All right, so if you look here, you see that I've saved it in CSV here, and then I need to return back to the map layout here. So to make this easy for us, I'm going to hold held data, and I'm going to hold shift until I reach to held buffer, right click on it, and I'm going to remove it. So that's being removed. Then I'm going to turn off the word imagery, I don't need it, and I'm going to turn on administrative. I'm going to open up here, right click on this administrative one, and it's done. Now let's open up this, and then let's open up the attribute table, and I'm going to maximize it. What do we have here? We see that in here we have Burera Gakenyi in this particular pattern. Now there is something we need to notice here. The first thing we need to know here is that this particular data file format have a serial number. So this is the serial number you have here. Now let us open up this Excel that we just closed and make a comparison. Now Nyarich Genge is 1 here, and if you go to the attribute information here, if you go to here, I'm just going to, if I want to delete, but I just want to hide this, and I'm also going to right click here to hide this. I'm also going to right click here to hide Rwanda, or I can set it in the table I don't want it to show, but let me just go ahead with the hiding. So I'm just going to go ahead with the hiding here, and then districts as well, I can just leave it, but I'm hiding them because I want to check whether both of them are in a particular, I want to make sure that both of them are close to what we have now. So that's just the reason why I am doing a kind of hiding, so that all of us can be looking at it at the same time. So in this way, you can see here Burera is here, and when we go up here, we also have Burera, and then the Burera we have here is on number 22. But in this particular list here, the Burera we have here is on number 1. So what is unique about this table and this Excel sheet is that the name of the district are the same thing. The serial number is not the same thing. So in that pattern, I know where I save my data. So what I'm going to do is, having this data, I want to make an integration on it. So I'm going to go to Rwanda Administrative 2, because somebody wants me to show the spatial distribution of production by district using map. So I'm going to right click on it, go to join and relate here, and I'm going to say here, you have here add spatial join, add relate. Here you have join. So let's go with the join. Now when you do joining, for example, you see that we have Rwanda Administrative here, and then what layer do you want to join it? You see now that we have inspected our attribute table and see that the perfect name is name 2. So it means that our target name is going to be name 2. what table do I want to join it with? I need to specify the table I want to join it with. So in that way, that's where I'm going to bring in this particular Excel sheet that we just open here. So you can see the CSV file. You can also use Excel, which is XLS. Now when you click on add, it's going to evaluate it, as you can see here. So here we have here name 2, and then here it is going to also check which of the name field are we going to use to join them. Now this is the table we are going to use. So we wait for it to read through the file that we have. So in this way, we should be able to have a way we are going to get them joined. So you see here we have name 2, and here as well we have this as district. Now if you check this, you see now that we can also validate it to check whether is it in conformity with what we want to validate. So you can now check between the two data, are they matching. So if you look at it, you see now that it says it check invalid character, checking for white spaces and rest of them. So you can see that it goes in here and it says that the table has 30 and the join also has 30, meaning that if you look at this, it's trying to check whether both of them can work. And if all of them can work, and if you go ahead and click OK, so what it's going to do is that it's going to bring in this particular table and relate it automatically. So if you look here, you see here now that in this part we have here as Burera, and if you look at this, we also have Burera here. We have here as Gichumbi, we have Gichumbi here. We have here as Kichichiro, and we have Kichichiro here. So on these ways, I can click on this, and then what it means is before I don't have it, I don't need to start typing the way we're typing. Now, if you look here, you see now that I have the district shapefile have a direct relationship with this right now. If somebody asks me that I want to see the spatial distribution of maize across Rwanda over a period of time, so what do I need to do? I can go here and see that I can click on the maize section, and you can see this is the part here. And remember, this is a unique value, as you can see here. But I don't want to make it, maybe I want to make it, hello, go ahead.
In my file, I thought that even in serial numbers will be the same, as this week will be the same, and it is serious, like 1 corresponds to 1,
Okay.
and even if kilo or something like that.
Okay.
That's my fault. What can be possible?
Okay, yeah, if your own works that way, because what I did was table inspection. If your own is perfectly serial number by serial number, go ahead. So the most important thing is make sure that the number, if it is Burera is 1, make sure that it's 1. Like what I said, that's the first thing I looked at. I look at the ID, the number, and I see that the number is not the same thing with what I downloaded. And I said, okay, I don't have to use that because it's not the same thing. So if the both of them are corresponding as serial number, join it by serial number, there is no problem. What you need is make sure that the data you're, and remember, this is a critical information. If you make a mistake and join the wrong serial number with another serial number, it means you are giving the wrong information. So that's just it. But if you can, it is okay by that way. So your own is okay, perfect. If it is okay by district, perfect. You can also create your own. Like sometimes when there is need for me, I used to create my own. Like if it is not working perfectly and I see the serial number is not the same thing, the name of the district, some of them are in capital letter or small letter. I use Excel sometimes to clean, and also sometimes I used to take this data, the existing one, and maybe Python, and I can validate whether both of them are matching with each other. And if they are matching with each other, I can go ahead. If they are not matching with each other, I can leave it, drop it. But the whole thing is that if it's serial number match with serial number, go ahead. It's a perfect one. If not, then don't make sure you validate before you proceed. Yeah.
What will take place? What will happen if the number, like if let me say, like the district, like it's +1, and there is an equal or something will greater or less than 2.
You create
What?
it will not fail. It will join the ones that are possible, and the other one will tell you it's not working, like the joining is not working. You see, when I validated, it validated and tell me that it's 30 and 30 and it is matching. But when it is not matching, it will also tell it is not matching. And when you join it, those locations that is not possible will show null, NUL. Do you get it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess. Thank you.
so yeah, so be sure that you make sure that both of them have that information uniquely, and then that's how it works perfectly. Is that okay?
It's okay.
All right, so you can see here that we have here. So once this is done, and you can see that I have them in 30 classes here, so each of them are matching, and that's why you will be able to see that if I switch to layer here, and you can see that this is the spatial distribution, and if you go here, you can see that it have shown me by the number here. Now let me return back to symbology here, and then right click on it. Okay, let me return back to where I am. Still go to this particular here, and you see now that what I did is that those things you guys were trying to do, like the assignment I asked you people to do in this, so ideally you're supposed to type it one after the other, but you see that's going to be crazy for us to work on. So here you can also add another kind of category here, and you see now that you have two different category here. So you can see that the more, let me go to labeling to remove the labeling so that we will have less clustering. So hold on a bit, so let me remove the label. So you can see now that these are different class. You can see this class of maize, and here you can see the 30, the maize and sorghum here being in the same class. Then that's for using a unique value. Then when it comes to graduated color, so you see now that you can bring a graduated color like this, for example, and I want to show it district based on people that produce more of maize. So what do I need to do? Here I'm going to go into maize, and when I go into maize, I have graduated it into 5 way. Then in agricultural analysis, you can show Rwanda that Rwanda have, let me close the attribute table because we don't need it right now. So you can see now the graduated color that, oh, between this range of range have this number here. So it means that if you are looking at maize, how many people produce more maize? So the highest district that produce maize, let me also label it now. So let me label it now so I will know. So Nyagatare in Rwanda as a 2025 produce more maize, and Kirehe also produce more. But the places like Gasabo, they don't have maize. Nyarute. So you can now, having this kind of map, you can now see the pattern of maize production by 5 category. Now remember, if you want to make it by 10 category, you change the number here, and that takes you by 10 category, and you should be able to see the category here. Then this also, you can make adjustment to the color by high and low. So you can go here and maybe put in the green or red color by high or low. So you can change the color of your choice here, so you can see different color that you can resolve to. So you can see the way I'm changing mine, so where it is high or where it is low, so you can see the color perfectly. So it means that in Nyagatare or Eastern Province have more production of maize than Kigali City. So you can see the way it is here. So this is the number of maize production. The same way you can say that I want also to see it by the number of tuber roots. So you can see the pattern of distribution changing. So that means Gichumbi and Nyabihu and Nyamagabe produce more of this than, so that is intent. So if not, I can decide it that I want it into 5 category depending on what I'm looking at. So you can see that Kigali City does not have more tubers. So this is a way you can go. So you go ahead, you want to check which people produce more vegetable, and you can also see the distribution. You can go ahead and say which people produce more of this. So this data, we're going to use also this data when we'll be doing a kind of dynamic map or web map, so we can also look at it. So this you can study. Why is it that Rubavu produce more vegetable? Is it because they have more water or what? Also you can look at this. Let's go to pears, and then let's go to pears. Which people produce more pears? Bichumbi have produced more. So this is a comparison you can make at any given time, and this comparison will help you. You can label them by these numbers. Like for example, if you look here, I put it by Gichimbi here, and then I can say that I want to label it by the number of, what am I using, PS. So you can also go it by, let me just click on anything, so you can see it changing to this number PS like this. So this, let me still retain the district name because that's what I know, so that I will not be pronouncing something wrong. So you can see here that this is a pattern you can show. Now, normalization can be possible when you want to make a normalization. So this is a kind of normalization when you need that. But if I don't need that, so I can still resolve it by none. Now, this is a method of breaking it. This is a natural break, which you can choose to put it by either quantile. You already know what is statistics, so you know what is quantile. Define an interval. You can define the interval by using a defined interval. Manual, geometric interval. So these are different methods you can use, but sometimes majorly we just use it. You can use it by standard deviation. You can see the standard deviation, and if you want to make it equal by yourself, you need to change it from here to make it manual interval. In the manual interval, you can use your hand and edit this to put it whichever you want to put it. But for me, I'm just going to leave it in natural break. Let it break it natural for me, because I am going to label them by this. So this is the production of pairs in ton, or the production of maize in ton, that they produce pay A of the category. You see now that what it means, that the Eastern Province produce more maize than the other part. And then the part of the Western here in Yabihu, they don't have maize, and Kigali City. So you can see the pattern, it goes in this pattern. Now, this is when we talk about graduated color. There is also what we call here, you see here we have symbol, we have unique value. So this is graduated. We have what we call Bivariate colors. So where you can use this part color scheme. Now, if you look at this color scheme here, so you can see, you can decide to use it like this. This symbolizes where it is high, and this symbolizes where it is low. So any place you have here, it means that it have high and high low. So in using it in this particular pattern, let me switch back to symbology again here. Maybe I will need to pin it. Rectangle, map value, Rwanda, symbology. So if you look here, you see now that what field do I want to choose? I want to make a kind of comparison between maize, and I also want to check using the field 2 of, let's say, maize and cereal. Now, this gives me where maize is high and where maize is low. Remember, sorry, this is 0, it's a mistake. So I'm going to check using the maize here against cereal, or let me use sorghum. Now, if you look at both of them, you can see where both of them, this is maize and this is sorghum. So you can see it coming up here. This is where it is high and this is where it is low. This is when you have the grid of 3 by 3. You can increase it by 2 by 2. You can see it here, high and low. And then you can make it 4 by 4. And you can see it here going 4 by 4, giving you more details. Low, low, meaning you know how to join this by comparative. Then you go in here, you can see, you can change it by this type of color to make it to uniquely to what you want and how you want it. So this shows you where you have both of them meet, is that low, low means that maize and sorghum has more impact in the Eastern Province. So if you look at this, you see that Eastern Province take more of it, while the Kigali City, they have nothing. So template is when you click here, you can get other template that you want to get here. But let's not just go into that. But you have seen here, you can label it by field here. But you can see here, I can change it from here or here. Now, if you look here, you can see here that we have orientation. How do you want to make the orientation be? Is it high, high, and value? Look here, and you can see here what I did here. So if I go high, and you can see high here, and if I go it by low, and you can see low and high, so you can see the way this also change in terms of orientation there. And then under the label corner, you can change how it is being labeled, either corner or this. You can change it coming low. You can edit this from high to low if you want it. Now under here is orientation. Like I said, if you put it here, it goes to none. But if you put it under high and low, then it will tilt it to showing you the direction of it high and low. And then low, it goes in this particular pattern. Take it from low going to high. So this is a pattern you can anytime change. Now remember that here you have for 1, you can drag it and adjust it. This is histogram for 2, you can also adjust it. This is the legend that control how it shows. Now this is when you are using Bivariate colors. So this is to make the comparison, and you say that when we'll be talking about raster use land cover, where we might make to use sustainability map to predict which of these places is best for maize or best for this type of crop. So we are going to come into that again. But you see here that you are now making a comparison between this and this, which of them is high. So you can see that when you're talking about maize and sorghum, the best place, if somebody asks you now, where is the best place to go and plant all this? I want to embark in agriculture. As I say, GIS analyst or scientist, can you tell me where I need to, which of the district best for me to go? Now with this, I will just come to this map. After producing, maybe take a Rwanda statistic, I can trade the model from 2013 to see which of the trend and see the pattern is going. I can tell you, Lydia, go ahead to Gasibo, Kanyunza, Kihire, Nyagatare, go and plant corn and cereal, because that is where the tons have been moving increase. But if you are looking at going to Mohanga, no, it is high because it's low. And if you are looking at Nyamagabe, it is a no area because you are going to have low turnout of this. So this is what you are trying to advise, and this is what you show to people, and this is what you are doing, and this is how it happened. So this is when you're talking about Bivariate Color, so which you can use. You can also explore more here, as you can see here. Now you can make those comparisons by putting it here, select it, make adjustment here, and this shows you perfectly what it is. Now you also have unclassified. Now unclassified as well can also be used the same way you are using others, so you can make the classification here. Go ahead.
By returning to the to the classifications of the various colors.
Okay.
Yeah. Go back again. Go back to.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Like the way we have sorghum and maize. All right. Yeah. There is a variations of colors, or according to the maybe like there is a like yellow and blue. There is an region where they have some kind of mixture somehow at the same extent. I would like to ask, in the legend shows that there is on the only yellow and even but okay, like this, like this, like Wamagan.
Let's use
So,
Ruma Magana is in the Ruma Magana is in the, I know Ruma Magana, but I don't know where it is now.
yeah, it's that one.
Yeah,
right?
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's Ramagana. You see, it is in yellow, but there is also some blue. Okay. Once you see in the trunk, there is an blue, but some yellow, but at low portion.
Gichumbi.
Yeah, above Ramagana and Gasam. It is in between Gasam. Yeah, this one.
Okay, I've seen it. Okay, yeah. Like you needed an explanation on it.
Yeah, I would like to ask.
Okay.
We use different colors of different like
feed. Different feed.
Okay. How can we interpret, like by the partial, or by saying that this is the quantity of the quantity of sorghum or quantity of maize, something like that, by identifying, because when the color change, it refers to the quantity of that agricultural crop they produce. So I would like to know, how can you measure, or how can you identify or interpret the quantities in such a way?
Okay, so thank you. Let me make quickly explanation. Now, if you look at this, you see that this is maize and this is sorghum. And then I want to talk about Ruma Magana and Gichumbi. Now, there's something I want you to understand here. it moves from low to high. If I say that I want to make an introduction using a kind of, I'm going to use Honore. Honore is 30% good and 70% bad. Lydia is 50% good and 50% bad. Now, the good is maize, the bad is sorghum in both of you. Now, and somebody asked me, and somebody tell me I want to do a kind of cultivation of both of them. Now, if I want to do cultivation of both of them, I will go for Lydia, because it is 50. If I want to do cultivation of both of them, it means that Lydia is 50% good and 50% bad. So in that order, if I want to cultivate maize, when I want to focus on only maize, I will go for Honore, because Honore is 30% bad and 70% good. So it means that the weighting is higher in Honore if it is maize. But when I look at both of them, then I will say that they are highly percent, both of them are 50-50. So in this pattern, you see, if you look at this color, you see that this color is falling here. Now, Umamagana this is low, maize and sorghum. Now, both of them are going to low, medium, and high. Look at the diagonal. That's why I have to turn this thing into this pattern. You can see low, medium, and high. So if it comes to this color, where is Rumamagana? Rumamagana is here. Meaning that in the part of here where we have high maize and low maize, so it is in between here. So let me also resolve it to none so that it will stay straight. And let's look at it here. This is low, low, and high. Now, anything here, Rumamagana is located somewhere here. Now, if you look at the color, you see that Rumamagana have more of maize than more of sorghum. Now, because the color is here. So if I want to make this interpretation, I will tell you that if you want to cultivate maize more, you are interested in more in maize, go to Rumamagana. But if you are interested in cultivating more of sorghum, go to Gichumbi. Though both of them can survive because this is high, and if you look at the color here, so what you take is a correlation. You now check between here, low, low. This is low, this is medium, this is high. So meaning that maize is following this pattern, sorghum is following this pattern. Where did they meet at the center is here. So if you look at both of them, where both of them are sharing 50-50 is in Gisira and Nyanza, is 50-50. But when you go to high here, do you get it? If you follow it diagonally here, is located here, not in Kasabo district. This place does not have any productivity when it comes to maize and sorghum. Let's go to this center here. Is one of them is Gakenyi. No, not Gakenyi. Kamonyi. Kamonyi is higher where is medium when it comes to maize. But at the same time, Kamonyi here, if you go towards this direction, you see now that Kamonyi, so what it means is that Kamonyi have more of this than this. So, but when you want to check this, follow it diagonally, and I will say that Rumamagana have more of maize productivity compared to Gichumbi. And when you look at Gichumbi, you see that if you are talking about high, go to the high when it comes to sorghum in Gichumbi, but don't be considering it when it comes to this one. But if you look at places like Nyanza, I can say high. If you look at places like Gasibo, Kanyozi, both of them are 50-50. This is good, and if we ask you to go and cultivate, go there and start your agricultural activities. But here, when it comes here, don't go here because Gasabo is not working. So you read it by these patches. You can increase it to 4x4 to understand what I'm saying better. So if you have it 4x4, you see this is, but 3x3 is better because I wanted to show you medium, low, and high. So this is where both of them intersected is low. Remember intersection when you talk about slope, where both of them intersect is what you need to take. So when you make this intersection, you see that Guchimbi is going towards maize, so the best thing is go for maize. Rumamagana is higher when it comes to maize. To maize. Guchumbi is sorghum, so go for it for here. So the same thing, like for example, let me look at Guchumbi. Let me go to cassava. The moment I change it like this, and let's look at what will happen in cassava. when I put cassava, you see the color of this still, it is also sustainable. Let's go to aspect of, let's go to vegetable and see what happened and see what changes. You see now Ruma Magana changes. So that means when you look at cultivating maize and vegetable, the best of the best place to go is in Ruma Magana. For example, this is where both of them intersect because I want to flow it diagonally, and where have more weight is where I need to go. Did you understand what I'm trying to say? Or I need to find a way to explain it better.
I get it.
Okay.
And I'm surprised.
All right. Okay, so this is it here, and I'm moving over to unclassified. So in unclassified, you just need to show us where it is high or low. All right. If it is question, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Anyway, morning.
Yeah, Balak, you finally agreed to come. Congrats.
Yes, thank you. So I have a question. I would like to know in ArcGIS, there's any way you can know the factors that contribute to the cultivated crops to be more in that area,
Yes.
or you have to go aside and make research about it.
Okay, we will get there. We'll be going to raster. We are going to make a kind of sustainability analysis, stability analysis. So, for example, we bring different data together. When we go to raster, we'll explain more. What I mean is this: when you want to make a modeling or say where in Rwanda is best for agriculture, there are things you need to put in place. Number one, type of soil. Number two, where is it located? Is it hilly or flat, elevation, slope, rainfall? There is a way to do it. So we're going to model that and then use that to work. Now, a little way I can explain to you is that, for example, it will not be here because this will not be a perfect example. So I want you to use this to visualize what I'm trying to say. If you look at, see, let me assume that you see this box that I have in this ArcGIS. This first box is soil. The second box is rainfall. The third one is slope. Rainfall, soil, rainfall, slope. I want to use these three things as example. Now I'm going to say one is slope. Let's say one is slope. One here is rainfall, and one here is elevation. So if you use these three variables and you want to multiply raster, the way we will multiply raster, what it means is that if you multiply both of them, wherever you have 0 becomes that is not sustainable. Like if you have that, what you need to do is, where if you go to the Eastern Province, for example, here, and you say, is the soil clay soil? Yes, that is one. That I'm going to use gazebo, for example. Is the soil clay soil? Clay soil. Let me use clay, for example. If clay soil is sustainable for that, let's say it is good, stable for that. So that means one is rainfall. There is rainfall in the Eastern Province. That is gazebo. 2, what is next? Elevation. Is elevation of 300 good for it? If it is yes, that is another one. But if, let's go to climate, is the sun hot? Yes. So that means it becomes 0. So if you say 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, and 1 multiplied by another 0, it is 0. That means it is not good for maize. But if you have a place that the elevation is 10 and it is okay, the rainfall is 10 and it is okay, then the soil type is loamy soil and it is okay. That means 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. That means it is okay for that particular soil. So we will do that later. That's why I said when we talk about stability, so we can model and say that this place is okay or not okay. Just like the way I can tell you that Nyarugenge, Ngororero is very good for landslide. Why? Because there is elevation, there is high rainfall, there is type of soil, and we can multiply that, and I will tell you where there is going to be a landslide. Because if the rainfall moves up to 1,000 millimeter in a particular place in Ngororero, and because of the elevation and the slope and the type of soil, there is going to be landslide. So we can make that kind of prediction. So we will get there. But we'll have a way to get it done. So when we get to raster, that's why I was asking the first question. You were not here with us, but we're going to get there. So relax, we'll get there, and I'm going to show how you can multiply them, divide them, reclassify them, and then be able to make a map and say, because of this present of rainfall, because of this type of soil, and then because of this type of this, Eastern Province is the best place to cultivate maize, or this is also the best place to cultivate tubers of yam, as in tubers and root, and this is the best place to cultivate cereal and sorghum. So we will get there. Is that okay? All right.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so if you look here, this is just trying to show you high between high and low, upper and lower, and you can see here, this is just trying to show you where it is high and where it is low. So that means if you are looking at maize, the best place to go is Nyagatare and Kirehe. This is just showing you between lower and upper, and this is where the tones are being produced. So you can also change the color by opening up here and then select the color of choice, and that's going to be affected by upper and lower. This is unclassified. Then I'll move ahead to this is unclassified. I'll move ahead to graduated symbol. In graduated symbol, you use numbers or dot or size of this to represent what you have. Now, if you look at this size, you see now that this is 25. Now, let me select maize. Let's continue with the maize. So I'm going to continue with the maize. And you see here that you have the higher here is still, you can see Nyagatare. Kigali is too small. If you look at Gasabo, you see there's no dot. So you use this to show the effect of where it is high or low. So it means that Kirehe have more than this. So you can get it done this way. Now you still see that method is natural break. That is okay. Now you can also represent the same thing as well. That's graduated symbol. You can also represent them by using proportional symbol. Now in proportional symbol shows where it is bigger is where the same thing. So you can see here the way it is. This is bigger, and you remember that in the field I still need to use maize. Where do we have a bigger circle? You see that the bigger circle is showing in Nyagatare and then Kirehe. Kigali, you can see now they don't have any food. So hunger will kill them soon. So you can see that out here, and you can see the legend coming up like that. Then this color, you can also modify them based on how you want it and how you want it to go. Now that is for proportional symbol. Now let's go to dot density. Dot density uses the point cloud. The bigger the number, the number of point that is associated with it, the number you get it. How do you make a dot pad? I'm still going to use maize, and you can see now that if I use maize and then select on the maize and what happened to the maize, and you can see now that the number of dots in Nyagatare is bigger than the number of dots in Gasabo district. So if you want to bring out another one, you can also bring another one and be able to change. You can also change the dot here by clicking here and select another types of dot that you want to apply to it, and then that's going to take effect there. So if you look at it, you see now that Nyagatare and Kireye have more dot conjunction compared to Kigali city. So this is using a dot density, and we already know what is density. Then another way is by using a chart. Now chart gives you by using this kind of thing. So you can see here that the higher or the smaller shows you what it is. So in that part, I'm going to also select maize as well, and you can see now that the chart is going to change by the size. So you see now that here we have a longer chart here, which is, you can see them having a longer chart here. Then here as well, you can normalize it. Appearance, this is where you need to change it. You can also label it. You can also put it up here. But what I want to show you here is that you can put a bar chart, and then you can see the bar chart changing in this particular pattern. This is maize. But if I want to put a bar chart here, there is something I need to also be looking at here. And what I need to look at is when you're putting a bar chart, it is also necessary you change and select another one. I'm going to use sorghum so that you can see the percentage here. So if you look at the sorghum here, this also, you can also change the color. So you see here now that Gasabo has, you can see Gasabo here. What is Gasabo again? See, you can see here, it's talking of more maize. But if you look here, you see now that the percentage of this one here, you can see here. So you can also add another one. Let's put 0, and you can see here, it goes into 3 pattern, and you can see the percentage here. Here you can also change the color, loading the symbol and say, put it in any other color different from what you have, so that you will be able to have more. So if you look here, this is the color, so you can also reframe the color to having 3 different color on it. And you can see here that when you look at here, serial, this is how it shares it here. But if you look at some of them, you see that some of them does not have anything. Like for example, Gasabo district only have more of cereal and then more of maize. There is no sorghum. So if you look at the pattern, you can see where the sorghum comes in. Here you can change the pattern. You can also change the background. You can also change the display option here, where you can say if you want it in 3D, you click on this and that's going to refer to 3D. So you can see the pattern it change. How do you want to see? Do you need it clockwise and anti-clockwise? You can also change it to that pattern. Then do you also want it to tick? So for example, if I want to tilt it, I can tilt it to lie down flat. So you can see it will change to this particular pattern, or I can tilt it to be in this flat way. Then you can also see it in this pattern, like lying down. Then also thickness. How do I want the thickness to be? I can also increase the thickness, and you can see the thickness of it. So this is a way you can make a this kind of showing. And then where, if you look here, you see now that you see that here, that is it Kichichiro or Nyarujenje? I don't know, but there is this particular sector, or sorry, district.
Nyarujenje.
Okay, so if you look at this Nyarujenje, you see that because of the congestion of this point, this thing is not fitting in here. You can also have a ladder. So you can see here, you can change the line to black. So you can see this line is trying to tell you drawing. So if you look here, this one is another district here. So it's trying to show you I am referring to this one. So you can change the way the display follows. Then you can show the chart outline by making the chart line here. So this is a way you can get it done. Another one you can get it done somehow is what we call stack chart, by putting all of them into stack. So you can see here, it is going to change into stack here. So you can label it. So you can label it the way it shows, and then you can as well change the color. So this gives you opportunity of changing its way, and this gives you opportunity of adding more crop to make a comparison on it, to be able to see where do we have this more production. And you can see here, this have actually giving me this kind of pattern here. Now this is when you are talking about using chart. So this is the way you can work on it here. Then this one, which is dictionary, you can see here, sometimes we contextually don't use it, but you can bring a dictionary where you have a key and value, and you see here the dictionary method. This somehow we use it, but we don't usually use it up to that extent. So but this is just like you looking at it, so it doesn't have much thing, as you can see here. So you put it in this pattern, and then you go in here and you can say that you need it by series. This is side lock, afflection, text, that is symbology feed. So this somehow I personally don't use them, but majorly when I want to show I have not done any work or something I did that I need to use dictionary, but majorly I work with the rest of them from chart down to the single this thing here. So you see, this is basically what I want to show you, and this thing I'm showing you, I am not applying it to only Rwanda only. This can be used in global scale anywhere in the world. And just like I told you guys, if I remember the African map, why I showed you the other day, our last session, is I wanted you to see the impact of typing things one after the other, and you see how long it takes you to get it typed. So you can prepare them in Excel and then add it up. And you remember in Excel, like you see, if there is need for you to add more data to it, as you can see here, we have maize. So I'm just going to go back to open up this, and you can see here we have maize here and rest of them. And you say, there is another data you need to join. You can still bring in another fresh data in another table, and still go ahead, go to ArcGIS, right click on the administrative that you want to work on. And when you right click on the administrative you want to work on, you can still go to join and relate, and then still click on here and join. And any time you want to remove them, you can remove it. You can see here remove, and then remove all the join, and you can see here add a spatial joining. You can still go here to look for the place what you want to add, or get it from outside and add it up here. Like you can see here, if I still go back to the place we are, and we can still add another data here. This is how to do it, a spatial joining. So you bring it them and add them. And now on this one-on-one or one-to-many, you already know what we mean by relation. That is geospatial relation, or we call it geographic relation, or spatial relation, or relation, or whichever way you call it. What I mean is that when I say 1-to-1, means that Rwanda is to Rwanda. But when I say one to many, I am referring to Rwanda is to these 30 different districts, or Rwanda is to 30 different or 14,000 villages. I'm referring to one to many. And when I'm referring many to one, if you combine all the districts, it will give you one. That's why if you look at the shape of Rwanda, you see that this is administrative level 2. Okay, level 1. Oh, so yeah, level 2. But level 1 have only 5 districts. So that means in 5 districts, you can get many from them. So this is a way you can get it done. Get your data in Excel and make sure it is in the format that can be joined, and look for a related table which can either be the districts or by name, or you can create your own. For example, if I want to create my own, I can just go here, the same place I am. For me, I can just go here and right click on this and open the attribute information. As you can see, go to selection here, and you can say select all. And when I select all of them, and that's going to be selected for me, I will still right click here and go here, and then I say here I can decide to copy all the information there by going to the attribute table, and I can now say copy all the information that's been selected. So if you copy all the information that has been selected, I can go ahead and click on copy, and I'm going to copy the entire row. So I can come here, and then I'm going to now paste it here, and you can see, forget when it was, I just want to talk. Okay, let me go here and then right click on it, and I'm going to join and relate as well. So go to join and relate, and I say remove everything. So I'm removing it now. Let me return back to the normal Excel as it is. So you can see here I've removed the Excel, remaining only what I have earlier. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to return back here, and I'm going to press Ctrl A and paste it back. Do you want to paste anyway? Yes. And you see now that I have, sorry, let me delete this, and then I'm going to paste here. I see that I have this. So when I have this, and I will now make inspection of the table and see that, oh, this is what it is. So you see here that I have this is not matching. So I can make this kind of adjustment to make sure that both of them are matching. So it means that I can go ahead, if I want to add more things here, I can go here and add more information here. So if I add those information, I should be able to take it and join it away. Remember, when you are joining, it's necessary to check this. If not, you will populate the wrong data. And then it is also necessary that when you are checking this, and then make sure that what is clear. Let me clear. When you go to right here and say join and release, so let me add the join again. It is necessary for me because I always like going here, and I'm going to now go here and select the CSV. And when I get here, I will first of all inspect my table, and I will say is name 2. But let's go to name 1. Use ID 1. I don't know what ID 1 means. ID 1 here is this number. Now, if you look here, automatically it's turning to it. If you validate, now you see now that it's going to look at it and tell you there is a problem. So you can see here it's checking. After checking, say you want the name containing valid data. And then if you look down here to read all the results, you see that the table has 30 and the join, but you see here join has no match. And if you see here, you see the name character is invalid. But if I now go here, administrative level 2, and then let me switch back to the name 2, and then I will go ahead. This data automatically reads. So you see the moment I switch to table 2, this automatically goes in here and then look for the district. But I can still, like Lydia say, look for the serial number and join it. Now if you look at this now, you see that the serial number is correct, but the name and the character are invalid. And then also the joining has no match because it is not seeing the same thing. Because even though the name is the same, but the serial number are not matching. So the best thing is it now suggests me to be the best one. And if I validate now, for example, and you can see that it will go ahead and say here, checking for the character. If you look at the reading, it tells you here that you can see here starting. You can see there is no warning here telling you. So that means if I go ahead and click OK, and then I should be able to have this particular table, boom, joining for me, and that's perfect. So I can proceed with my analysis. And like I said, you see the way I move it from Rwanda statistic, and I copy it down here. I went to the website and I copy. So that means I can still use other. You see here, I can still use this one. You can see here, government of Minigra. I don't know what it's talking about. NGO and rest of them. So somebody can still use this. Then you can go here. You can still use. And also remember, all these data can be joined together in all of them. But you remember we use table 14, right? Yes. Remember the way I clean the data first. I have to clean up the data, remove what is not necessary, and make sure it is structured in the right format. So with this, you will be able to join Africa, Nigeria, the whole world data from existing data, or join it with the shapefile, or from non-existing, or you can create your own, join anytime, unlink it anytime. You can see the way I detach it. I've removed it and it stays here. So this is how you can explore using join and relate. So on this note, I'll be stopping.